diys-by-dar, and it is the Silver and Gold Challenge, hosted by Krystal from the Crafty Creech and Furniture Flips, and Heather from What Heather Did. I found this $5 thrifted sled or toboggan, and it is in kind of rough shape. It's vintage, and I went ahead and got this all cleaned up, scrubbed it up good. Then it was time to go ahead and take my surf prep with some 120 grit sandpaper and just smooth this down. It had quite a few rough areas, and I didn't want anybody to get snagged on anything or get hurt. So once over real good with that 120 and we are good to go. I did get it all cleaned up again after that, and I'm ready for some Howard's Feed and Wax. I wanted to leave this wood natural. It probably hasn't had anything like this for many, many years. So it really just drank up this Howard Feed and Wax, and I was really pleased with the very cool patina on the wood that it was leaving for me. You can see when I show the comparison just how badly dried out that this piece was. It really needed this. And I did not have to wipe off any excess wax. It just soaked right up into the wood. And there's the comparison. So it really needed it. Now, while I'm waiting for that to dry, I received these two molds from Amazon, and they are little Christmas houses, and I had some leftover Let's Resin polyurethane quick cure resin, and I needed to use it up, so I thought this would be perfect. And this is a 50-50 mix. I just eyeball it. I don't measure it or anything, and you can see this eyeball I went a little bit over. So you take your two solutions and you put them in the same cup, and then you're going to take a stir stick and stir this up gently in one direction, trying not to make bubbles. It takes about 20 seconds and you're going to see a change. It will go clear on you inside the cup. And if you start to feel warmth in that cup, then you know you really need to pour, because that reaction is starting to occur. Now, I had 2 ounces of material in this cup. I was not sure how much these were going to hold. And unfortunately, my first 2 ounces went for the first panel. So the second time around, I decided to mix up a bit more. So I did 4 ounces, and the 4 ounces took me through the second panel, and then also that big square base. And I had just a tiny bit left over that I had to put in the roof portion. And you can pour your polyurethane, even if it's not a complete mold pour, just pour it in and leave it. And then all you have to do is go back with some more resin and fill the rest of it. So that's what I did. So I'm thinking that this house probably took about 8 ounces. So here they are finished, and I'm putting them together with some quick and thick tight bond glue, which was a little frustrating for me. So I got the glue gun out just to help that process along. I'm going to go ahead and get these 3 houses. I ended up with 3 houses, and get them together so they will be ready for some spray paint, because I am going to paint these 3 houses in either gold or silver to go with the theme. Now here is my board. I am making a shelf on this sled, and I'm thinking, how am I going to accomplish this color match? I started with just a paint wash, and you can see I put way too much on there. It wasn't watered down enough. I had to hurry up and spray it with a lot of water and then go ahead and wipe that back. So we were still okay. I changed my method a little bit and just tapped in the top of my cap and then in my glass of water, which made it the consistency that I needed so I could go ahead and get the rest of this board a uniform brown color. And I just had some paper towel that I was wiping it off with. And believe it or not, I used those same 3 pieces of paper towel for the whole piece. I wasn't happy with the first pass, so I went ahead and I did a second pass. And it is always a lot easier to put more on than it is to take it off. So keep that in mind. You can always go another shade darker, which I did, but it still was not quite giving me that old board look. There seemed to be a little bit of a golden yellow color in there, mainly around the edges, that this board wasn't quite capturing. So when I was completed with this, I did dry it with my blow dryer real well because I didn't want my colors to become muddy. But here was the yellow color that I mixed up, kind of a golden yellow orange, and put it just kind of on the edges, and that did seem to help a lot. Although the board was wet, it looks a bit different when it was dry, and then I had to decide what I was going to put on top of it. The board's dry. I just have a heavy piece of cardboard, and I'm just wiping any of the raised areas down. And I have some gator hide from Dixie Belle here. This is going to be my top coat of choice. It was pretty thick. I had to use some water to get this to flow a bit better, but it went on very nice with the sponge, 2 coats all the way around, and it was good to go. Gator hide will give you some water resistance. So that was the reason that I chose it for this being a shelf. I thought it would hold up really nicely. I'm ready to put this shelf on my sled. I have some brackets here, and I'm going to put them on the board, and then I'm going to attach the board onto the sled. I had one in the middle and one on each end, and it turned out really nice. I was liking it, especially when I stood back and I saw how well I did get that color match to go with that sled. So that made me very happy. I need to put a chain on the back of this sled to hang it up on the wall. So I am putting a eye hook in the bigger portion of the wood so it would hold it. And I had to get these big chain lock cutters and just cut my chain and get it to the right length and pop it on my bolt, and then just close that bolt end down so the chain would not come off. So I am ready to try this on the wall, and although it's not level, it wasn't looking too bad. I kind of liked it until I got to this side and saw how far down it was tipped and away from the wall. So I had to think about this. As I was thinking, I went and spray painted my little houses, just one spray with this Rust-Oleum metallic gold and metallic silver. It covered really well on this slick plastic. So my little houses were ready to go. Well, I had to get Mr. diys-by-dar to help me, and what we decided to do was put that chain up higher and then add some bumpers down at the bottom that would pull that bottom away from the wall. And I put a couple protectors on the board so it wouldn't do any damage to the wall. And it is level, which is nice. The color is great. I'm liking it a lot, and it's level. Things should not fall off the shelves, although I did something with that to also help that whole situation. Now, I made these 4 decoupage prints for this piece from my Made by Marley decoupage paper. Those 4 prints were going to go in those empty areas, and I wanted to do it this way because I thought, all right, if you put something like this up on your wall, why not have the chance to change the decorations throughout the season, which I thought was a really good idea. So that was why I just made those decoupage canvas prints to put in there, because you can always just change those out. Now, I got this tape called alien tape, and it's kind of weird, but you kind of stretch it out and pull it and then set it down and then set something on it, and it sticks by surface tension. And I put my houses and my prints with a little piece of that on the bottom. They held really nicely. I am getting my gold and silver tinsel on around the front, and just with a little set of battery powered lights. And here I have my Christmas bells, my jingle bells. I am putting a strand of those at the top, and I'm getting tired, so let's see what it looks like with the lights off. And I thought, I want to really see what it looks like with the lights off, and it was oh so pretty. I was really liking this a lot. I want to thank Krystal from the Crafty Creech for hosting this challenge, along with Heather from What Heather Did. So this was the Gold and Silver Challenge. Check out the playlist in my description so you can check out everybody else's art piece. And I want to thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.